Da 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 da. Yeah, yeah. Coming at you. Clap, snap, point. Except I don't have my little cheat sheet. So after 2.5 months of not being on the air with Inside Arm Wrestling, I am back. We are the home of everything arm wrestling. We're just going to change it up, Anthony. We're gonna kind of make this a little bit easier for me as I've gotten older. I've gotten a little bit wiser, maybe a bit slower. So if we just say the home of everything arm wrestling, Anthony, I think we'll be okay with that. And folks, if you hear that chirp above the noise of my voice, as my daughter would say, just a lot of noise, that's the battery, that 9-volt battery that's going dead in my fire alarm here at the studios, aka my house, but the studios in which I just don't have a ladder to get to these 10-foot ceilings. So therefore, you're going to hear some beeps through the course of this. It is not that the camera is running out of juice or that Greg is trying to back up. It is because Greg, being a general contractor for a living, just can't keep a regular stepladder around his house in order to handle some very basic things. So, having said all that, folks, wow, it is October 2025. We have not been in studio for Inside Arm Wrestling for a minute. And I want to tell you, it's really good to be back. There's a ton to catch up with. I mean, when we started our journey back in July, my daughter and I went to the Pacific Northwest. We had a great time traveling the country to get out to that North Carolina regional. We got to stop and see a bunch of arm wrestlers along the way, which was terrific as always. We got to see some buffalo. Didn't see any moose. Didn't see any bear. I'll be honest with you. That maybe had been the biggest disappointment for the Montana, Dakotas, Wyoming. No bear and no moose. Albeit we both saw friends of ours that had really kind of thrown it in our face on their Instagram when they posted pictures of bears and moose. So I think we'll have to go back. That will be a bucket list for us, I'm sure. But we got out to Jacksonville, North Carolina, and I can tell you, folks, it's really the highlight of my season. It does not matter how many people come to that event because it's special to me with the ability to see my son and have a great time with the Marines out there at Camp Lejeune. It was an incredible time as always. Bittersweet, always to have to leave and come back to the West Coast. But we do know that the West Coast is the best coast, baby, and that's one of the reasons why I keep returning. So we got through the summer, got into September, had a couple more great regionals. We got out to the New York States during Labor Day. Mike Bisman and James Reed threw a great event up there. Tim Talmadge had his Arizona regional for us, which was another great event. And then we just wrapped up our last regional with Mike Moody this past weekend in Jacksonville, Florida, where I'll be honest with you, looking at the list of the winners for the hotel rooms and the individuals that are coming, they may be the toughest group to beat across the board. That Florida regional is stacked coming our way, which means that one thing, we're in October, and what does October mean? We are 1 month or less at this point away from the biggest tournament arm wrestling championship in the U.S., and by far, bar none, we will give away more in cash and prizes for our finals, setting us up once again to be on ESPN for the 2025 season. We are super happy about that. I'll be honest with you, this past weekend, we are still going live on ESPN. They are rotating World Series of Arm Wrestling into multiple time slots. ESPN HD had us on, and the reason why I know that is my cousins via Pennsylvania vacationing in Florida hit me up and said, hey, cuz, you're on TV at 5 o'clock in the middle of the day, Saturday during college football. They had World Series of Arm Wrestling on in the bar as well as other college football games. Let me tell you something. There is nothing more exciting to know that the sport that we love is continuing to grow. And we at WSA have a small part in doing that. The biggest part is you, the athletes, and will always be you, the athletes, who continue to push the envelope and get that get that value or noise, if you will, of us as a entity being seen. So super cool. Anytime I get that feedback from ESPN that we're on, and man, I don't have the full numbers yet, but we're multiple millions of viewers over the course of the last couple of months and just our playtime on ESPN. The statistics are overwhelming, and we're very happy to be a part of that, as well as for years to come. So all of this leads into, I'll give that dramatic, that little pause, that look down. The eyes tell the camera, right? I get that eye look back into the camera. All leads to October 31st here in San Diego, the very first time you'll be able to weigh in. We have weigh-ins at San Diego Harley-Davidson on the 31st from 5 to 8. I would tell you this, athletes, wait to eat that Halloween candy until after 8. Get your weigh-in done. Then you'll be able to get out there and have yourself a Milky Way, a Snickers, or whatever your favorite. Personally, I'm a Kit Kat guy. But whatever that personal candy bar is, you'll be able to get to it. Certainly don't do it beforehand, because we will continue to be very strict in weigh-ins. You have a 2-pound allowance at weigh-ins for clothes. And what that means is you can't be naked and claim a 2-pound clothing allowance. That's a t-shirt and your skivvies. Take your socks off. You got 2 pounds on the plus side in order to make any of the weight classes. And what are the weight classes? Of course, we have our 176, our 209, our 239, and our 240 plus, which is our super heavyweight division. On the women's side, we have under 154 and over 55 and plus. On the masters, under 210 and 211 plus. So those are your weight groups that you're looking for. Amateurs emulate the men's pros. So make sure that you're on weight. Now, a lot of people are asking, which is very important to note, you do not have to pull in the same the same weight class you did in the regional. We have created the system now that you will weigh in for the finals to the weight class that you want to compete in. If you wanted to compete in the 209 class, but you weighed in and pulled in the 239 class to qualify, that's okay. Your weight at the time of registration this year is the weight class that you will be in. And remember, folks, it is a $50 registration fee for each arm, each weight class in which you're pulling. So if you're pulling in pro men and you happen to be 50 years or older and you want to pull in the masters, that's an additional class in which you would have to pull. And same with amateurs. If you're in the amateur class and you would like to pull in the masters or any sort of combination of that, it is per weight class in which you're pulling per arm. A little bit different than last year, but because we went to a lot of host cities and hosting agreements, there was a disparity in terms of what the cost per regional would be. So in order to equate it so that no one regional would have a better advantage to succeed than other, we just made the registration fee for the finals as is. And we are going to also augment next year's prize money with our finals registration money in terms of those costs, and that will help build the pot for years to come as well. So on Friday, October 31st at 5 p.m., you can start weighing in. If you happen to roll into town a little bit earlier than that, that's okay. Come on down to Harley. We'll get you weighed in. If you weigh in at noon, that's not going to be okay. I'm going to give you a little bit of leeway in terms of that 5 o'clock hour, but certainly you're not going to weigh in any sooner than that 4 o'clock. So if you get in early enough, your plane lands, you're a little bit dehydrated, a little bit drawn, come on down to Harley. We'll get you weighed in so that way you're hydrating. The goal is not to have people get injured or sick. The goal is for you to get here and make sure that you weigh in and get on weight early enough. Then we turn it back over to Saturday, November 1st from 10 to midday, noon. We'll have another weigh-ins. Again, if you come in at 9, there will be an opportunity for you to weigh in a little bit earlier. We are anticipating a large number of individuals coming in, folks. When it comes to the hotel rooms, they are packed. They are full. That means there are athletes from all over the country coming in, and those athletes are going to be really looking to win that big money. So get in, get weighed in. Registration, we will have registration per table per weight class. We will be running 4 tables this year. We've done 3 in the past. We believe that the volume this year can warrant 4. And to be honest with you, in the future, we're hoping to go to 5 or 6 tables as we continue to grow. It's going to be a fun day. We always start off with pros as normal. We will come down to the top 2 in each weight class, and then they will wait until after the amateurs and the masters and women's pull, and we'll go into the finals at there and then do the overalls. So going over the payouts, a lot of questions still out there on payouts, which we continue to lead the way. I think over the course of this year, to be honest with you folks, all of the tournaments directly involved with the World Series of Arm Wrestling, I think we've eclipsed somewhere around $95,000 in prize money paid out over the course of a season. That's huge. That's big. And it's gonna definitely hit that 6-figure mark next year. I can guarantee you that. We do pay places 1 through 10. Matter of fact, if you finish 1 through 10, you're going to double your money at the very least. At first place, it's $3,500. Second place takes home a cool $2,000. Third place, $700. Fourth place drops down to $300. Fifth, $250. Sixth, $200. Seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th, each at $100. So if you win your division, okay, you will go on to the overall. If you win the overall on the right, that's an additional $2,500. The overall on the left, an additional $2,500. So here's the bonus, okay? And we may call this the gorilla bonus because I know that Corey West is out there looking to make his mark after sending us a picture on Facebook. He looks incredible. It looks like he's dropped a good 60, 70 pounds. He is quite the athlete. But if you win the left overall and you win the right overall, there is an additional $3,000 bonus. Again, $3,000. So the winner this year, theoretically, if he wins left and right, will walk away with $15,000. I don't know any other tournament, any other promotion, any other event in the U.S. right now that is letting the winner of a tournament arm wrestling event walk away with $15,000. But I'm guaranteeing you folks that if someone wins the overall left and right and it's the same person, that is what their payday is, plus all of the prizes and all of the awards. I mean, it will be a well over $20,000 a day for them for sure. Just to watch us alone for the 2 divisions will put them well over $20,000. For the women's, we must have 8 athletes in that class with the masters. We will group to up to 8 in order to make a payout. And for that, you'll have first place at $250, second place at $150, and third place at $100. So we will pay the top 3 in women's and masters. And if someone wins the left and right in either class, women or masters, there's a $600 bonus. Here's the kick. If nobody wins the overall left and right, the same person, or somebody will win the overall left and right, but if the same person does not, that will roll into next year. So next year, it will have a bonus of a minimum of $6,000 for the winner if there was someone who could win left and right. And we're going to do that until either the money gets big enough that somebody out there is willing to put in the extra effort to make it, or it's just going to keep growing. Kind of like the lotto, except you don't have to pick 6 winning numbers. You just have to be ready for that first Saturday in November in order to win it. I kind of like how I said that. Anyway, so having said that, we are super excited for our finals. Again, make sure that you know the weigh-in times. That'll be very important for you. The other thing I want to talk to you about with regard to the finals, hotel rooms. Now, we did do a reel the other night on Instagram. I'm going to do it as well here on Inside Arm Wrestling. I need folks, again, you have until October 10th. As of October 10th, there will be no opportunity for you to jump on the list. If you've won already a division or class in a pro regional and you haven't reached out to us, I apologize. October 10th has been made very, very much aware to all of our regional hosts, as well as social media presence on Facebook and Instagram. You may not have any of those above. We've reached out to everyone we could. But if you're anticipating a hotel room, make sure you see me before October 10th, either on social media, a phone call, a text, or through your host. Otherwise, we will not be able to accommodate you. If you are coming into town and you would like to spend additional days at the host hotel, we are suggesting that you wait until October 13th, which would be the following Monday, so that they could take the rooming list and put it into their system, and then you can call them up directly and look to take on a Thursday or a Wednesday or a Sunday or a Monday or however long you'd like to stay in San Diego. That's availability to you. You do have to pick up those days on your own dime. However, if you're the overall winner for 15 grand on both hands, you could probably stay in San Diego for at least an extra week. It's a little bit expensive out here. After a week, they may be starting to wonder where you're going to get the cash, but certainly 15 grand will take care of you in a real nice hotel just about anywhere in San Diego, LA, or even Beverly Hills. So make sure that you wait till the 13th. That's really the target date in which you want to make sure that you give them enough time to get it in the system. So having said all that, and I'm not quite sure what our timeline is, Anthony, we want to talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on this week in the world of arm wrestling. Certainly, we wrapped up the house. That was a great time. I'm wearing my Cali Strong swag gear. Jim and Jen were an amazing host for us. They gave us all team uniforms for the reality series. Cali Strong here. Super strong in the San Diego area, especially in the local sports and athletic leagues. They're just tremendous people. I can't say enough thanks for them. Thanks across the board to all of our people that we work with. Dan over at Harley Davidson, Francisco and Armando at King of Paddle, Ronnie at Philly Steakhouse, Dave at Grinder Gym, Johnny at North County MMA. A big thank you to Paul Stevens and to Kyle Depew for helping us on the refereeing end, as well as the production staff. For the young man, Anthony Alcaraz, to take the lead for the first time in one of our productions. He did an amazing job. The staff with SWAT TV and G2F was just tremendous. Adriana did a great job as well, being her first time as a PA on a set. Just an all-around great job from those who are in our inner circle. I couldn't be more proud, and certainly it was a great several weeks of filming, and hopefully that end product is what you guys are all anticipating and been looking for. But having said that, this actually might be my favorite time of the year. Anthony, what do we got for time?
We're good. We're like at 18 minutes.
18 minutes. So it gives me a little bit of time here. This is really one of my favorite times of the year. And the reason why it's one of my favorite times of the year is it's really two reasons. I've been a huge bodybuilding fan for all my life. I was, one of those young people that went out and made sure that they bought the bodybuilding magazines. I love being in the gym. As life has grown older, I haven't been able to work out quite as much as I used to love to. But the gym life, for those who know me and know I've owned 18 gyms over 2 decades at one point, know that I'm a big fan of the world of bodybuilding, which really brings us into the Mr. Olympia weekend. And the Mr. Olympia weekend is a very special weekend outside of bodybuilding because my good friend Bill Collins runs his Mr. Olympia tournament. Bill, so many kudos to Bill. Bill's been a pioneer of this promotional sport, if you will, for the last several decades. He has taken UAL and kept it not only on the map after it kind of, I don't want to say disbanded because I don't know if it ever disbanded, but when they split ways, Bill came up and took over the UAL and has really pushed it forward and has done a great job. He has the Mr. Olympia weekend. The Mr. Olympia weekend for the UAL is a little bit of a quirky one, and I want to give you guys a little timeline on this. And I know all of you have this information in front of you, but I certainly want to make sure that we spread the word. It is an October 10th and 11th event. It's a weird event because of the way that the convention and the Olympia requires Bill to run it. The Friday event is a daytime event. The weigh-in started at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. The 10 a.m. masters, amateurs, grandmasters, and ladies will all be competing. Now, in a perfect world, I think Bill and I would, and just about any quality promoter would tell you that a Friday 10 a.m. start in the middle of October is not ideal. If we were going to run a 2-day tournament, we would certainly want to run it Saturday and Sunday. Fridays kind of curtail the amount of volume that you could sometimes get because pullers work, right? I mean, it costs us to be in these events, it costs us to participate, and it costs us to travel. And so to Bill's credit, he really does a great job with this Friday date. So at 10 a.m., he has those classes, amateurs, masters, grands, ladies, and then he'll have a celebrity super match, which I don't know if he's posted yet, but last year, I think they did 1 million views with his celebrity super match, which was great. But the big side of it is the open class, which is October 11th. On the 11th, again, you have weigh-ins from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I believe, again, you need to check with Bill, but I believe when it comes to the open class, you can weigh in on Friday or Saturday. Certainly weighing in the day of on Saturday puts you there in the convention. With weigh-ins, you get a free wristband for 2 days. So if you come on Friday, you're able to see a convention for 2 days, which is awesome. His weight classes are a little bit different than World Series of Arm Wrestling. He does a great job. He's got the 145s, 165s, 185s, 205s, 232s, and then 233 plus. That's for men's pro and amateur. For ladies, right and left. 125 and under, 26 to 54, and 54 plus. Masters runs a 65, 85, 205, and 206 plus. And Grandmasters a 165, 205, and 206 plus. So the only difference between Masters and Grandmasters is the 185 class. Always has great awards. Let me tell you something. Bill's awards are top-notch, are some of the best in the industry. So I can only imagine that he is going to have some great Mr. O awards for you this year. And listen, Bill is such a great guy. His family and my family and friends, we're all friends, but we're family. We've been supporting each other for a long time. In every value of events, we both reach out to make sure that there's anything we can do for each other, we do. There is no competition between Bill and I. If anything, Bill is the GOAT in terms of my opinion, and he continues to run a great promotion. So anything that we could do to support him, either with Inside Arm Wrestling or World Series, we definitely want to do so. So if you have the opportunity to pull in Las Vegas, that is always a suggestion, a high suggestion from us. But you guys didn't come to find out about the finals, nor about my road trip, nor about Bill's event. You came to find out what my predictions were for this year's Mr. O. And let me tell you something. I think I've got it. I think I'm nailing it this year. I'm a huge bodybuilding fan. I mean, I go back to the days of before even Lee Haney was competing. And I could tell you that I really believe the Mr. Olympia this year may be the best lineup in the last 40 some odd years of me following the Mr. O that I've ever seen. And I mean that sincerely. I think the quality of athletes for this year, Mr. O, on the pro open stage is just tremendous. And I think it boils down to 4 individuals. And I don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying that Derek Lunsford, Nick Walker, Samson Dowd, and Hadi Chopin are really the four front runners for this event. The value of what's after those 4 is still extremely deep in terms of quality. There are new bodybuilders on the stage that are coming up that are just going to be tremendous athletes here in the future and are really the future of bodybuilding. I could see many of them, such as Good Vito, coming up into the ranks and taking over. You've got some older lions in there that are probably going to fade out over the next year. But certainly if you look at those 4, it's going to be hard to get around them. I don't see anybody outside of those 4 breaking into the top 4, barring one of those gentlemen having just a tremendously bad situation happened to him in the 24 hours before. They all look peeled to the bone. But I am a Nick Walker fan. I'll be honest with you. I think that Nick Walker, to me, is what bodybuilding as a sport of freakishness should be. Maybe not the most aesthetic guy. Samson is certainly. Samson is just has crazy aesthetics. His lines and his fluidity of his body is outstanding. Hottie has just this grainy, absolute dry, peeled to the bone conditioning. Derek has an amazing back. He's brought up his lower body. But Nick has had some setbacks in the last 2 years, starting with that hamstring tear 2 years ago, where he really could have been Mr. O that year. He might have been Mr. Olympia. Followed by just a breakdown last year. To come back to the Pittsburgh, and in all honesty, I think he was robbed. But again, it's a subjective sport. I thought he beat Derek Lunsford. However, they gave it to Derek. Come back to win the New York in outstanding shape. And to see his updates for the last 2 weeks, I don't know that there's somebody on a size and conditioning and just overall freakiness that can take Nick. And he's my number one. I think Samson is second. If there had to be a winner outside of Nick, Samson would probably win. I don't think that aesthetically Hottie is Mr. O quality. And what I mean by that is if it was a competition of dryness and conditioning, he would win. But if it's a competition of shape, I think he's behind Samson. And Derek, I think Derek won his Sandow, and he won his Arnold and the Pittsburgh this year. He's had some big wins. I just don't think that Derek has progressed on a level of the others throughout the offseason. So I'm going to go with Nick, Samson, Hottie, and Derek for my top four. And when we come back next week from Inside Armwrestling, we'll see just exactly how I did. So, having said all that, guys, that's number 70. Can you believe it? We're around 70 episodes Inside Armwrestling. Big clap, big snap, big finger point. Guys, tune in for 71 through 100. We're going to make it happen before you know it. We're going to be in triple digits, and Inside Armwrestling, just like WSA, is going nowhere. Only getting better. Make sure you tune into our Fast channel. Find us on Free Live Sports. Make sure you're watching in World Series of Arm Wrestling on the ESPN app. And of course, you can find all of our episodes on Radiate TV. That's RAYD8.TV. Head over there today to watch seasons 1, 2, Inside Arm Wrestling Fast channel, and a ton of great independent movies and reality series only on Radiate TV. Have a great week.